If you've ever gone out on an errand and ended up returning home with a random houseplant only for it to die a few days later, I can tell you that I have definitely been there before. If you go somewhere like a grocery store to buy your plants and you have any sort of basic knowledge of plant care, you know that they're not always taken care of exactly how they should be. You take these plants home expecting something nice and they end up being pretty unhealthy. Sometimes you find that your plant has root rot, a condition where the roots rot and decay because that plant has been consistently overwatered. This plant will most likely die unless you remove the rotted roots and are let alone just knowledgeable enough to even know that it has root rot. Or maybe it's root bound, sliding out of its container to reveal a web of overgrown and crowded roots. You'll probably spend a lot of time untangling these roots and you'll just have to hope for the best at that point. In these cases especially, you're being set up for failure. The issue is that many people don't know how to tell what exactly is wrong with their plant, and it's even more difficult to figure out what to do. You may not even realize that you have an issue like this until your plant is already on the brink of death. Failure in these experiences causes many people to believe that they're just a bad plant parent, when in reality, they're being set up for failure. Even though these issues can become quite the nuisance, especially if you're a beginner plant owner, taking care of plants, sick or not, has its own set of positive effects. It's not surprising that there's actually some preliminary research showing that having and caring for plants can be beneficial to your overall well-being. Plant owners may see their concentration and productivity improve by up to 15% and may experience reduced stress and increased mood. Nurturing plants can be an excellent way to cope with stress, anxiety, depression, and even promotes a sense of positivity and purpose. While plants come with a trove of emotional and other health-related benefits, they also each have their own unique personalities. You just have to be willing to pay close enough attention to what they're trying to tell you. You may find that if you forget to water one of your plants for a day, they'll end up throwing a tantrum, flopping over and wilting as if they haven't seen sustenance for weeks. When you water them, the stems pop right back up like nothing happened. Or maybe you have a plant that basically thrives with neglect. These plants want to be left in the same spot with the same conditions for the entirety of their lives. All plants need care, of course, like any other living thing. But they also have temperaments that give them an almost human-like quality. You may even find yourself learning from your plants. All plants are kind of like family in that way. You learn from and relate to them, and they teach you lessons as any other role model would. Some particular favorites of mine are things like success is only compatible with patience, taught to me by my aloe plant. I've had some recent difficulties with this one. Not only did I find that it had a pretty severe case of root rot, but it was also a little root bound. By the end of it, I was left with only a few healthy roots. If I don't take my time with its recovery, it will probably end up dying, which obviously would be pretty disappointing. Another lesson I really like is to be diligent, even and especially when you don't know exactly what you're doing. I'm pretty new to the whole bonsai tree scene. I've always wanted one ever since I first saw them in Karate Kid. I mean, I feel like if you watch that movie, you either have an immediate draw to take some karate lessons, or you go out and buy, in my opinion, one of the most expensive and difficult plants you can. Anyways, I'm here talking about plants instead of karate, so that's how that went. Back to my bonsai. Even though I'm still in my research phase and I haven't really gotten into actually trimming my bonsai, it has still been able to teach me something valuable about diligence. Being precise and keeping careful thought always goes far, especially when dealing with a difficult plant. All in all, it's important to treat your plants as if they were a friend, or maybe even a colleague. There's a huge transfer of benefits from you to the plant and back again. You take care of the plant, and in a way, the plant takes care of you in return. And it's always easy to go through the motions, water your plant, make sure there are no bugs, and move on with your life. But actively taking advantage of the benefits your plants can bring you is what's really going to make your time worthwhile. Learn from your plants. It's okay to fail, of course, it always happens, but always learn from that failure. Morally speaking, plants have probably been the single most influential aspect of my 18 years of life. And even if plants aren't your thing, Learn to take advantage of the things you may not have thought to take a second glance at, because you'll probably end up learning something you may not have learned anywhere else. Thank you.